Our Local 4 News, your local election headquarters. This is Politics Today with Jackie Kingston.
Governor Greg Abbott signs a bill to help address mental health in schools. We'll sit down with the bill's author, Representative Ford Price. And Amarillo, now a pilot city for a new program to track evidence in sexual assault cases. How it'll help victims keep track of their progress being made in their cases. Hello, welcome back to Politics Today. Glad to be back with you after taking the week off last week. Plenty of changes are coming to our state after Governor Abbott began signing new bills into law. Let's get right to it. Lots to talk about. Governor Abbott officially signed House Bill 18. The mental health bill was initially filed by Amarillo Representative Ford Price. Politics Today's Maggie Glenn sat down with him last week to break down that new legislation.
House Bill 18 is an omnibus comprehensive mental health bill that really directs a lot of resources towards our public education system and our students.
The new legislation aims to address mental health issues in our school systems.
There'll be more resources devoted towards better education, better training, enhanced curriculum, better awareness at the teacher and educator level, but also the administrative level and the district level.
Representative Price explains the importance of addressing these issues at an early age.
And all the research indicates that behavioral health issues, including substance abuse, is very manageable if diagnosed early. And most mental health issues manifest before the age of 14.
He says some students in the state could be seeing some curriculum changes.
If the district teaches physical health as a requirement for graduation, for instance in high school, we want that health course to have components on suicide prevention and substance abuse. We don't want them to talk about just cardiovascular disease and diabetes, which are important, but we also want them to include things like mental health.
For teachers, the training will help them know how to spot someone who may be struggling. There will be incentives.
For instance, if you take mental health first aid, which is a program that already exists, and you take it in person, you'll get twice the hours of credit.
Representative Price says the bill aims not only to help those who are struggling with mental health issues, but also to help reduce the stigma that comes with it.
Maggie, thanks. At the district level, the bill will allow schools to employ or contract with at least one non-physician mental health professional, which includes either a psychologist, a registered nurse with a master's degree in psychiatric nursing, or a licensed social worker. Schools across Texas will be partnering with their local mental health district when the law goes into effect. That is happening on December 1st of this year. Changes to the way the state pays for education also officially on the way. Governor Abbott signing that bill, House Bill 3, into law last week. Schools will start to see their share of the $11.6 billion funding measure in September. Some of that money will go to pay teachers, fund careers and technology education programs, and pay for pre-K. School districts had to build their budgets based on what they thought lawmakers would do. So now that bill is finalized, school officials are working on how they can make the most of the money that's coming their way.
My teachers, technology, and facilities will be where I'll be putting that, and we're probably looking at about a 10–15% increase in our overall budget, which for us in a small school, a small budget is a lot. We've been doing it on a shoestring for a long time, and this gives us some needed funds to really bring those educational opportunities, especially with technology.
Lawmakers also say the bill will limit an increase on school property taxes to 2.5%. Another law works with House Bill 3 to slow the growth of property taxes in Texas. Senate Bill 2 includes around $5 billion to buy down property taxes. It also requires cities and counties get taxpayer approval before it can raise the property tax revenue beyond 3.5% from the previous year.
It limits the ability of taxing authorities to come back in and raise property taxes and jack them back up. Without SB 2, it would lead to quick erosion of the property tax reduction that's contained in HB 3.
The 3.5% limit goes into effect next year. Another bill signed by Governor Abbott works to make the state's pension fund for retired teachers financially healthy. The goal is to pay off its debts within the next few decades. The Texas Retired Teachers Association says it's a positive step forward to maintain benefits for retirees and current employees. The bill requires all retirees as of the end of 2018 to receive a one-time payment of up to $2,000.
We are making a promise to our current active teachers that their retirement security will be assured with dollars in the bank to pay for those costs long into the future. And that's important for all Texans, because the taxpayer wants to know that our teachers are going to be taken care of, because by and large our teachers do not have Social Security. This is the retirement security.
The state school districts and current public school employees will see an increase in their contributions into the teacher retirement system over the next several years. Amarillo, now one of 5 pilot locations for a new state initiative allowing survivors of sexual assault to electronically track the evidence in their cases. As of last Monday, the sexual assault evidence tracking system is up and running here in Amarillo. The system's rollout means survivors of sexual assault won't have to wonder if authorities are working on their cases. The program was made possible by House Bill 281 that was passed in the previous legislative session. Politics Today's Kaylee Green explains.
Amarillo Police are working with DPS, which will oversee the sexual assault evidence tracking program statewide. The law requires the system to track the status and location of each item of evidence through various stages of the criminal justice process. Survivors of sexual assault will then be given access to a portal to track the progress of their rape test kit.
The timeline may not be what they want it to be or think it should be, but they know where it's at, and they can contact whichever agency has it and say, hey, I have questions. Can you answer these questions? And so that also gives them a little bit more power in their case.
Sergeant Carla Burr says APD submits all evidence from rape test kits within 14 days. She believes the system will boost transparency between law enforcement and survivors of sexual assault.
The tracking system can perhaps bring some level of closure simply with the information that this is being followed through.
Kathy Tortorio serves as Family Support Services Director of Crisis Services. She says they coordinate closely with law enforcement to provide services for survivors. Tortorio says the tracking system will greatly benefit survivors whether their cases move forward or not.
And so then it gives our advocates the opportunity to continue to support that person one way or the other. The not knowing is sometimes the most frustrating or the most frightening or the most overwhelming. It's going to give them information, and that can assist in moving forward to the healing process.
In Amarillo, Kaylee Green, Politics Today.
The sexual assault evidence tracking system will be implemented statewide September 1st as required by law. Sergeant Carla Burr says APD does not have a backlog of rape kits waiting to be tested. The state will also create a task force that will focus on sexual assault here in Texas under a new bill signed this year by Governor Greg Abbott. The task force will identify problems to fix and work on solutions for adult and child survivors. Lawmakers say the goal is to bridge gaps in resources for survivors at a statewide level. They're looking at the entire timeline from evidence gathering and testing to support and mental health services.
This will ensure that Texas is both efficiently and effectively taking action to address the heinous crime of sexual assault.
We have a very low rate of reporting of sexual assault, and part of the reason for that is a lack of a sense of trust that the system is going to be there for them.
The task force will include representatives from the Governor's Office, Texas Association Against Sexual Assault, and Children's Advocacy Centers of Texas. And those members say they plan to look at the issues from a wide perspective, but also narrow in on specific needs at the local level as well.
We need to make sure that we are making adequate investments in those areas within our law enforcement jurisdictions at the local levels to ensure that we have enough resources to go out there and address the actual crime so that it doesn't become a further public safety issue.
The bill will work side by side with other legislation passed this session to tackle backlogs in rape kits, as we've talked about before, here in our state. A little side note here, just to keep your attention. The governor is signing all this legislation and live streaming a lot of it on Twitter because he only has until June 17th to do so. That's tomorrow. Okay, now, anyone convicted of capital murder of a child under 15 years old in Texas now gets a sentence of no less than life without parole. That is Lauren's Law, which Governor Greg Abbott signed last week. It's in honor of Lauren Landavazo, who was killed at the age of 13. The man who killed her is eligible for parole after 30 years. Lauren's parents don't want other parents to face that scenario in the future. Lawmakers behind that legislation say they worked to make sure the bill was not an expansion of the death penalty. House Bill 1079 directs TxDOT to conduct a comprehensive study of the Ports to Plains corridor that will evaluate the logistics behind improvements to create a 4-lane divided highway which meets interstate highway standards. The study would detail improvements to extend, yes, I-27 is finally happening, both north and south. The Ports to Plains corridor north of Amarillo would extend to Oklahoma and the New Mexico borders and south of Lubbock to Laredo. The bill's authors include State Representatives For Price, Ken King, and John Smithy. House Bill 1631 effectively bans red light cameras across the state, but that's not the case here in Amarillo. City officials say because of an amendment that allows cities to keep existing contracts, the law changes nothing in Amarillo for the time being. The city has a contract with American Traffic Solutions until 2022. Amarillo City Manager Jared Miller says breaking the contract would cost nearly $500,000, and they don't plan to terminate the contract immediately. He says the new law does not make red light cameras illegal in the city of Amarillo, and unless and until the city council votes to terminate the contract, he encourages people to continue paying those violations. Ryan Brown, a partner at Blackburn & Brown, says he thinks drivers should fight them.
This is a law that's there and continues to be there as far as we can interpret by interpreting the legislation through legislative action, and then also through council action to create the ordinance that initiated the program. So I would never recommend someone not pay it.
If they take that to court, do you think a jury is going to like that the government is paying to pursue these little penny ante tickets when the government, the state government, has said that they're illegal? And the state government is in a better position to judge this because they're not getting revenue from these red light cameras.
Miller says the city council will revisit the idea of terminating its red light camera contract closer to its expiration date, as it'll cost less money. He says red light cameras, while unpopular among Amarillo drivers, keep our intersections safer. New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is suing the national government coming up. See why she says they're in violation of the federal government's safe release policy. I'm Jackie Kingston. You're watching Politics Today from your local election headquarters.